Now, yeah.
There we go. We're live.
Are we live on Trust the Process?
No.
Yeah, we are.
No, we ain't.
We are now. We about to be. We're
Rob
live
keeps
for 8 seconds.
he keeps saying we are.
That'd be easy.
Oh, we are live.
Yes.
Oh, you hear?
All right, we back.
Good.
Oh, we live.
Dang.
People been waiting on this. All right, everybody share it.
Who's playing that?
Oh,
Is that
probably
me?
me.
It's probably me.
Mm-hmm. This a
All right, we back.
It's our test run.
Surprise of the day, test run. Finally got these guys back in the studio after 2 years off.
We got Bobby Seaton in the building.
They re-signed the contract.
Yeah, they re-signed the contract.
Finally got Drew. Had to renegotiate his salary.
Don't listen, guys. Listen, guys. I've been trying to get these knuckleheads. Whose phone is on?
Bobby.
Oh,
They're trying to share it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, what is going on? But
Had to renegotiate.
yeah, guys, we're back. It's been a while. I've been trying to get these dudes to jump in for the past year
300 an episode.
to get back on the same page as we left. We stopped. What was it? December? Was that December of 2020?
Yeah.
No,
It ain't been that long ago.
Yeah. Well, I would just say COVID shut us down.
no, because we did a podcast through COVID.
Yeah.
Look, we was gonna do a reboot at the
Mhm.
end of in January
Yeah.
of 21.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we stopped. We did the last podcast like February or something like that. February or March of 21. So we've been absent for a little over a year, guys. And we've been getting asked by so many different people, when are we going to start back up? Well, you guys have
We
it.
are
So
back, so y'all got to tune in.
we're going to give you a recap real quick because Nick's got to go.
Oh, my bad.
Nick's got to run.
That was crazy.
So
My bad.
basically, guys, we've been on a hiatus. We can go one by one on where we've been and how our lives have been going. But I tell you what, it's been a season this year, guys. It's been a crazy season. A lot of ups, a lot of downs.
A lot of downs.
A lot of downs, man.
I think we're frozen.
No, we're not.
But I think I'm watching it right now. But I think in the season that we've been in, I think with us being back, we're gonna get back on track. Right?
Yeah.
Every week.
So,
What
every
day?
week.
What can they look forward to?
Fridays.
Friday every week.
Friday
at 10.
Friday at 10.
Friday at 10.
We going live.
Every Friday at 10, we're gonna be live with Trust the Process.
I'm
podcast.
excited about it. Y'all don't understand how much I need this.
Yeah, so give us what you got going on. What's been going on,
Nick,
Nick?
He was talking.
man, that's a lot.
I was talking.
I mean, this what's been going on
lot,
with me.
A lot's been going on.
God is so good.
Yeah,
God is good. Family is good. We just got back from vacation a few weeks ago.
yeah.
Man, living a good life.
It was much needed.
Man, y'all they living life for real.
No, we went broke,
Yeah.
and but everything's good.
Hey, so here I do have a question that
All right.
I've been thinking about. Why is it that we can maintain and we can live? We can make things happen when we have to make things happen, but when there's a cushion, we just ain't got the same energy.
Man, so you're saying when we got money stacked up, we ain't proactive in doing.
Right? Yeah.
We like a bear that goes into hibernation.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, when we went out and we got all the food, like we just go into
I mean, it's just
hibernation mode.
laziness. I think like you get comfortable.
It's a cushion, man.
I always tell people comfort kills, right?
Comfort kills.
That's it.
So just like in recovery, it's like that 6 months, like when you was like meeting every day, FOS, you was in the classes, you just get comfortable after so long. It's like,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, you get used to it. But no, that's a good question. Nick, you want to finish? Because I know Nick's got to go. So I'm trying to.
Finish what?
I mean, like update. I mean,
I just updated. We had our 10-year anniversary, me and my
10-year
beautiful
anniversary.
wife.
how many Sundays you in at church?
This is our 4th week at church. Started a new church called Redemption Place. We meet at KWC in the chapel. So it's just been going good. God's provided everything we needed.
Man, look, we was meeting in Nick's basement. Nick was like, "Man, we got to figure something else out."
They kept saying we're good, and
Look, they love the basement.
they kept saying we don't need to move out. I was like, yes, we do.
You still got the couches and stuff down there?
No, we just had chairs.
But listen, I'm telling you, there's something magical about y'all's basement.
People were sitting on the
Hey,
floor.
it's comfortable, ain't it?
But like, think about it though. Like gathering at a place like that seems, to me, more real than gathering at a church.
Hey, I'll tell you what's cool. I was with a kid, with somebody a few weeks ago, a week or two ago, and he was like, "Show me your house." And I showed him my house, and he said, "I thought that was the church," because he had been there.
That's how big it is.
He had
Oh yeah, that's how big it is.
Nah, he had been there, and we was meeting there, so he had equated it with that was the church.
Oh, that's
he went to.
awesome, man.
So I thought that was cool because that's what it is. Like the building ain't the church, right? We are
That's
the church.
right.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I know that like when my wife went through her important transformation, it was in your basement. You know what I mean? Like we're just husbands and wives.
Put that holy oil on it.
Man, I know, right? They brought the snake handler out. But no, seriously, there's something about having church in your house, like at your house or whatever houses we did it at, even at Rob's. Like during that season
Oh man, that was
of
big.
my wife and me and my wife, like we found out stuff about each other, meeting other married. We got to do that again.
Yeah,
The biggest
We
thing-
got to start that up fast.
That was big.
This is what I just
You know
told
what
I
it-
don't know why we stopped doing that.
I don't know.
life, comfortable.
Comfortably.
It's the biggest thing I told the guy I just met with. Like it happened organically, right? Like
Yeah.
we just met, marriage night. We didn't have an agenda. We just wanted to work on marriages. So therefore we all got to grow because it wasn't like, well, let me just sit here and listen to this guy who's got his marriages all together. It was like, man, we all in the same boat
Oh
together.
yeah, we all gave inputs.
Throwing each other's siblings or spouses under the bus. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did that.
Yes, and she did that.
Yeah.
Didn't do
Hey,
that.
I heard one couple, they was like, I hated when you did highs and lows because I knew the low was coming up.
But like, think about it though. I know that there were some times where, and I've heard you even talking about it. Like, I know it shouldn't be like that, but as we started talking about our high, like during the week, I knew that at some point we're going to be talking about highs and lows. So the way I talk to my wife, the way I talk to my wife, or the way I
Some wives called
reacted,
it out.
I didn't react the same way because I'm like, she gonna put me on blast in front of everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's accountability though, right? Why do we look at that as bad?
Yeah, you know the biggest thing I think that helped is whenever you get around other people who are going through. Give Bobby the headphones.
We got
the
digital.
white boy.
We got digital Bobby. Oh, they're both.
We
Nick.
got Haystack Mac.
Haystack man.
Yeah,
Nick.
Bobby said, "Please don't knock down the camera." Look at that maneuver he just did.
I'll see ya.
Bobby,
So-
you good right there? You comfortable? The mic good?
Yeah.
Or you got talking to
Yeah,
it?
you gotta talk to the mic.
Can you hear
Alright.
yourself?
I can.
So you can slide up and you can still kick back. Just you can slide up.
Yeah, there you go.
There
There you go.
Get
Oh, we're in
comfortable.
there.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing that helped me out, helped us out was whenever you get around other people who are going through trials and tribulations, to be able to hear them and where they're at, is somehow you're able to look at your situation and be like, man, we ain't got it that bad,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm
Or
not saying that's a good thing, but like it puts it all in perspective.
we ain't got it that bad. Or you can look at it and say, look, they're struggling too. Like, and they're working through this. Because you could, like, I seen progression.
Yeah,
While we were there, maybe some couples went the other direction, but some couples, like me and Heaven,
yeah,
we went in a better direction. And I say that like I don't mean nothing about the church or what's going on. Doesn't matter what church I was going to. I'm just saying in general, I felt like we had more of an advantage meeting with our husbands and with our wives on those. Having those meetings seemed like they helped better than being in a church setting. Does that make sense?
It
that's
was.
real. That's real.
Like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just intentional.
Like when we was over Rob's house, like, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing about my wife is like me and her best friends, but she really don't have nobody to talk to besides
Yeah.
like Kevin and them. So
Yeah.
when we got to go over there, she got to see what other couples was going through, same thing as we was going through, and like get positive feedback from everybody, and you know, sometimes hold me accountable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's the big thing. Us as husbands, we got to be held accountable.
Yeah, yeah,
We-
yeah.
I think we got to be held at a higher standard than our wives, because if we're leaders, we have to lead. So that means we have to be held at a different standard in life. And again, this can be even if you're boyfriend or girlfriend, like you should be working towards marriage. But these are some healthy things that you need to start implementing, because coming from Rob, how long have you been with your girl?
13, going on 13 years married.
Me and Heaven's 12. How long?
9.
9.
Yeah,
I mean, we've been in these seasons. I mean, I'm talking like we've been with our wives for all of us almost 10 or more years.
yeah,
Like marriage is hard.
Yeah.
Like it is one of the, because like when you sign that paper, I know it doesn't mean with that, but excuse us, boss, Seaton over here.
That's my wife.
Let me call you back on the podcast.
You see, our first one, we
Just text me.
it's going in, but it's just one of those things where it's rough, but you can't just, and some people do it, but you can't just opt out of it. You know what I mean? Like you can't just be like his boyfriend and girlfriend, like, all right, I'm done talking to you.
Yeah.
Because there's consequences. A lot of times there's kids involved, obviously finances, home, your house, and all these things. So it's just like one of the biggest reasons why I learned and I was more motivated to learn my wife is because I didn't want to learn anybody else.
Man.
I feel like God put her in my life. And if we gave up after 10 years, it's like all that progress, everything we worked for, everything we've invested in is out the window.
Yeah.
I'm not starting over.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't starting over.
Got too much invested.
I'm not starting over with anybody
We are
else.
together forever.
So update for Julius, man, we still be competing. I'm just in a weird season right now spiritually. It's been a lot of ups and downs, made a lot of mistakes. I'm not perfect. Like people look at our lifestyles and they see Facebook or Instagram, or they just see us in person or hear about us, and they think we all have it together.
Yeah.
And there's most days where literally, like, I have to, like, literally fight to make it through that day. You know what I mean? Like, without making a rash decision that could potentially, set us back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And like, so lately, all of us have been just trying to figure out, like, how do we get back to where we found our first love, like with our wives and mainly Jesus.
Yeah.
This is the season that we're all having, is like how do we fall back in love like we did whenever we first, like when the Lord first changed our hearts, where when we was on fire, like you woke up in the morning ready to go share the gospel.
Yeah. I'll tell you what it is. The same thing that happens in FOS. When the options increase, the willingness decreases, right?
Man.
So it's like, the more options you have in life, or like God blesses you with a good job. Now that job becomes your God.
Break down options real quick. Like seriously, make it practical. Like,
man,
as your options increase, your willingness decreases.
So jobs, right? Hobbies, relationships. Yeah,
relationships.
Yeah. So the more and more stuff that I get, the less and less time that I spend with God.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's break down real quick. Let's break down relationship. How could relationships, I'm just trying to give them practical, something that they can take and choose, but how could a relationship stop you from being inclined with the Lord, like being in tune?
Well, now instead of spending time with God, I use most of my time to try to figure out what they're doing. I use my time to, hang out with them. It's, you'll know where your heart is at by where you spend your time, talent, and treasure, right? Yeah. So if I'm invested into a relationship, I'm going to invest my time. I'm going to invest my resources. I'm going to invest myself wholeheartedly into that relationship. Yeah. So whenever that relationship becomes your God, well, then that takes you away from where you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So, and your relationship, like your marriage, is very important, but that should never come before your relationship with the Father.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So what happens is God gives you a wife. Well, now that wife becomes your God.
Yeah,
and they tend to switch places.
Yeah.
Right. And the root of it is just idolatry.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a balance, because we're called to love our wives like Christ loved the church.
Yeah. But you're not supposed to
like.
Yeah.
That's the key word.
That's the thing, is you're not supposed to love her in a sense of now she's your God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And everything revolves around.
What I'm saying is that's hard. That's a hard balance to find.
Oh, it is.
It's loving your wife, but loving Jesus more.
Yeah.
Because, your wife, think about it. Your wife has the ability in your life at any given time to make or break your day.
Your wife
has the ability.
No, that she shouldn't.
I know, but I'm saying
she does have the ability.
Bro,
she shouldn't.
Let's be real. I'm saying let's be realistic. Just like your husband.
Yeah.
We as big couples, we have the ability to either make or break our spouses.
Yeah.
Meaning the decisions we make every day could potentially make or break your wife. If I woke up in the morning, my wife, whether she was still asleep, I woke up slamming doors, turning lights on. I'm just saying, I know but this is very practical too. Like, I have the ability to be able to make or break my wife's state at that current time, which in all actuality can become a much bigger problem. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but what you're saying is like somebody has the ability to change who you are, right? Like if
it
and
starts.
nobody should be able to take my peace, even though you're acting a certain way or you're doing certain things, like that still shouldn't affect. Is it going to affect my world because of how you are being? Yeah.
Every
But at
day,
the same- but at the same time, my peace isn't found in you and what you do.
I understand that takes learning to get there. But what I'm telling you is, it's just like a jab.
Yeah.
It's just like a jab, and eventually it takes its toll on you, and eventually it changes who you are.
It either changes who you are or it exposes what you have your peace in.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, it will change who you are. Is all I'm saying. So, and that's my perspective. I don't know how we got off on that rampage, but ultimately,
Marriage group.
yeah, marriage group. All I'm saying is, when it comes to having a spouse, like, it's very important. Again, like Rob said, where do we spend our time? What we're spending our time at, and what's focused. So I think the fix of that is we're both serving the Lord with everything we have.
Yeah.
And when you have two people that are in pursuit of the Lord, like, how can you go? You know what I mean? Like, how can you go wrong? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm just giving practical examples and like what that looks like on how to fix it, because we give a lot of practical advice, but like, all right, what's the next step?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
But I mean, what do you think about it? Like, what's some tangible steps that we can do that when we realize that we're off, what's some steps to get back to where we think we need to be at, or where we do need to be at?
There's no right or wrong answer.
Okay, so as far as the whole marriage thing, like when we first started the marriage counseling at your house and stuff, like I needed that in my life because at that point, you know, I'm working full time. She's taking care of dogs, stuff like that. So we really ain't got time to mingle with people.
Yeah.
So it's just me and her versus the world, kind of. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so when we had the opportunity to come over and then discuss things, she got to see how other women was treating their husbands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And how they pursued their husbands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got to see where I was lacking, where
As
my
a
downfall
husband, yeah,
was, because
yeah.
I had guys around me that was treating their wives right and everything. Not that I treat her wrong. It's just like I learned stuff about how to be more intentional with my wife.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
I could say that Nick always says that isolation brings devastation, right? So when you're on an island by yourself, even if you and your wife are on your own island, you have nothing to compare it to, right? So that's why it's important to be in community, in real community, to wherever you can bounce ideas off of each other, right? Or you
Absolutely.
can say, man, this is what I'm struggling with. Maybe y'all been here. What was some things that y'all did to get out of it?
Yeah, because like you could be in a situation where if you're not around other people that are living the life that you want to live,
Yeah.
like we can recluse, and who's to say what's good and bad in our marriage?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can convince ourselves that something is good and it can really be bad.
That's,
right?
If you're on the island by yourself, then
Exactly.
whatever you say is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's law.
So it's one of them things that, like, man, tread lightly. Like it's, but again, to back what I was saying earlier, it's man, it's tough to find that balance between loving your wife and loving Jesus more.
Well, I think that if you're going to if you love Jesus, you're that's just a byproduct.
It is about
right.
product, but
So to say it's a balance, I would say, just like we talked about earlier, if you take care of his house, he'll take care of your house,
Yeah,
right?
but-
So
yeah, go ahead.
if you love Jesus and have him in his rightful place, loving your wife is just going to be a byproduct of that. Like it's going
Absolutely.
to come natural.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where the road meets is figuring out how to love Jesus more. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like I in my season, I couldn't help it but to love my wife more than anything in the world. I just went through this.
That's what
I don't know. I went through this season where, not saying I didn't love Jesus, but
he was
with the love that the Lord has given me, I was able to love my wife in a different way, and I think I idolized that love.
Yeah,
like I idolized it more.
You're going to give what you've been given, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you have that relationship with Christ, you're just, like I said, it's a byproduct. You're going to love people like that.
So what about I mean, whenever I was early in my treatment and I was just really learning about Christ, and I try to like break this down and go to most trivial things, but man, when it comes to a person who's a newbie, a new believer, like it's you telling them. I remember when somebody told me, I looked at them like that was crazy.
Yeah.
It was like, look, you need to love Jesus more than you love your wife and your kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how? How does a person love Jesus? And I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. Like, how does a person, man, I just now started believing in Jesus. Now you're telling me that I got to love Jesus more than I love my wife and my kids? Like,
I've been loving my whole life.
then somebody hit me with this. He said, he can give them to you and he can take them away.
Man, that sounds like something
Look,
loose.
dog, somebody hit me with that. And I'm thinking, I'm like, wait, what's that mean? Like,
Yeah.
so you're saying he's going to take my... So it was almost like in the beginning, I started pursuing Christ and trying to love Christ out of fear that I was going to lose my kids and my wife.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
But really, if you don't... Think about it. But if you really don't pursue Christ in the long run, you're going to lose your
You're gonna
kids
lose
and your
it
wife anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, but that's just, it took somebody, community, to point that out.
Yeah.
So the point is today, well, we've kind of, because we just came back to do an intro and say, hey, look, we're back. We're back. But man, it just seems like loving the intro, which is perfect. The topic is just loving Christ, man. How does that look? Like, can you imagine loving Christ more than anything in your life? And I think, Rob, that might be the key to our answers that we've been struggling with lately. Is just pursuing Christ and loving Christ for who he is and what he's done.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. Like whenever it's so what this constant reminder of this season that I've been in, I feeling like, man, you don't have what it takes, or you're dealing with all these problems. It's just a constant reminder of, my need for Jesus even more. Right. Yeah. So like, I can't find gratification or satisfaction or my, who I am in things or what I do or what I accomplish. Like my identity has to be found in him and what he's done for me. You know what I mean? Because life is always going to be life. Like that should be normal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a Christian, like, why is it that whenever we go through a problem, somehow it's like, why am I going through this? Yeah. No, as a Christian, you're going to deal with adversity like the Bible tells us. But what happens is whenever those problems come, we like to complain about them.
Well, I get bitter. Oh my God, why would you let me go through this?
Right. Why would I, or we could look at it and say, man, it's an honor to go through this. Right. And I think that a lot of that mentality comes with just wisdom of going through things and finding out that he never, just like his word says, he never leaves or forsakes you. Right. So the more and more things that you go through as you get older and you mature, you find out, man, that he ain't never left a shed. You know what I'm saying? You're not wanting for anything, and I'm constantly reminding myself that even though you may not be where you think that you need to be, man, thank God I ain't where I used to be. You know what I'm saying? Thank God that I ain't where I used to be at, because man, life was a lot harder.
It was a lot harder.
You know what I'm saying? Think about a life outside of Christ.
I think we're just full.
Was it a lot harder or was it a lot easier? Because now we got all this responsibility, these kids and this marriage.
Yeah, but there's there's satisfaction in taking care of your family, right? Doing it the right way. Like here's the misconception. As Christians, we can look at the outside world and look at people like in the streets and be like, we was talking about it. They got it all together, right? Mm-hmm. Man, but there is nothing like being able to lay down your head at night, go into peace and sleep, and not have to worry about the police kicking in your door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not have to worry about
and actually sleep.
Right. Your kids worry about, like, are we gonna have somewhere to live?
That's right. Is my dad gonna be here tomorrow?
Yeah, is my dad gonna be here tomorrow?
Yeah, or is something gonna happen to where, he's gone for a few months again? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then that causes, because one thing, it leads, it's not ever just one thing happening. It always leads to more things. So in your absence, what's going to happen with your kids? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're creating the same cycle that you probably was in.
Yeah.
What created you? So, man, it's just deep. But I keep going back to, like, trying to find my first love. You know what I mean? Like, I remember what it was like whenever I was so on fire for Jesus. Listen, when I hit my stride, it was like I didn't care about anything else besides serving the Lord.
That's it. So what happens? I'm gonna tell you what happens.
My options increase,
and that's exactly what it is. So, would God be a godfather? Would God be a bad father or a mean father if he took those things away from you?
No, he wouldn't.
Not at all. But why is it that, like, we find our identity in that, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Like, I see a lot of it with my kids. Like, I'm a good dad, so I want to give you gifts, right?
Yeah.
You know, iPads or vehicles or whatever. Now that gift has taken our relationship away.
Yeah.
So am I a bad dad for taking that away from you to get our relationship back?
Yeah, I think we're just so full of it that we don't even look at it in that sense, though.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
I mean, think about it though.
Yeah,
Like-
we pray for a house. Now that we got a house, now we don't even have time to spend with God.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
I mean?
saying?
So like we just and if we were in position where we're like, oh, God's gonna take this from me, I just think we're like spoiled children. We throw fits too.
Oh
You know
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, we're brats.
Yeah, we're spoiled. What it boils down to.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a spoiled. I mean, the Christianity and the walk that we walk, we're just spoiled. We have everything and more than what we've ever asked for.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So why are we in seasons where we're just so ungrateful? I want to say it's I don't know if it was and maybe who I'm quoting this wrong, but maybe Billy Graham said your heart is an idol factory.
That's it.
Meaning like whatever we're gonna cycle through our idols over and over and over and over again. Meaning there's always gonna be something that you love. Like your heart is never gonna be full.
Yeah.
The only thing that's gonna fill our heart is Jesus. But when you're in the moment, all you can think of, it's like going to a buffet. It's just like I want
more.
I want more.
Yeah,
I want more.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just continue
We're
to
always
want more.
searching for the next thing. It's
Searching
never
for the
good
next
enough.
thing. So it's all like our heart is always producing something else. So once we got over drugs, well, what am I doing? I'm eating.
Yeah.
I'm overeating, or I'm finding joy in XYZ. You know.
Yeah.
So man, it's just it's one. And guys, we're just trying to figure it out. That's why we're
That's
talking
it.
about it. Like,
Yeah, because we ain't got it all figured out at all.
Very, very little that we got figured out. So, but man, yeah,
But that's the good thing about this right here is like we can always go and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
just
one thing that keeps me clean. You know what I'm saying? And out of the streets and stuff like that is because I know I got good men in my corner that's
Yeah.
not going to allow me to veer off.
Yeah, to go back.
Yeah.
I just told Bobby, be mindful of this too, because the same strength that God gives you is the same whisper that you'll hear from the devil, right? So from the enemy. So, you know, like whatever God has gifted you the ability to do, you're going to know what that is by the whispers that you hear, right?
Yeah.
Like you ain't got it all together,
Yeah,
right? Like
absolutely.
you can't take care of this family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what God has blessed you to be able to do. It's just when those whispers comes, those whispers just get louder and
Yeah.
louder and louder
So
until
it's
you
just the
start
enemy
believing
sowing
them.
doubt. You know,
It's
basically-
not doubt. I would say he's just echoing what God's already told you in the first place.
Or I mean, in my situation, it's opposite of what Christ has told me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh,
But that's just validation that you do got
You'll
it.
never be good enough.
Yeah.
Why are you even trying? She ain't never gonna change. Why are you even trying to fight for your wife or love your wife? She ain't never gonna change. You know, so it's just it's I guess everybody's is different, but you know, in my situation, it's always something totally opposite of what I know I'm confirmed to do.
Yeah.
Like be great, do great, change lives. And those whispers that I hear is like, Look
Yeah.
at you, you're broken.
Yeah.
You'll always be broken.
Well, what
You
I'm
mean-
saying is validation and saying, look, you are broke, but thank
Yeah.
God that he's
Oh,
the one that
absolutely.
pieced us together.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? All he does is the same thing that he did with Christ on the mountain. Is he just twisted? Same thing he did with Adam and Eve. He just twisted just enough to make their perspective change, right?
Yeah.
So God had given them everything. He said, just this one tree, don't eat from it. The enemy comes in and he just twists the truth just enough to make them see it a different
He
way.
just don't want you as smart as he is.
Oh, we're smarter than he is anyways.
That's what I'm saying. Is when he came in, he was like, you know, that's how he fooled him. He was like, he just don't want you to eat that because then you'll know.
That's
he
what
knows.
it is. Deception.
He
That's
will
all it
make you as
is.
smart as he
Yeah,
is. He
that's
don't want you
exactly.
there.
But that's what the enemy wants.
Yeah, it's deception. All he does is just twist the truth just enough. You know what I'm saying? He comes in and says, you know, well, that's what he does to us today, right? Well, a little bit won't hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All you can go do is just for a little bit.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Just do this just for a couple months, just to get back on your feet, and then you'll be good. You know what I'm saying? It's always just changing the perception just enough to make you see it. I'm not going to say a demonic way, but it's not the path that Christ has set for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't. It's always cheating the process. It's always skipping steps in the process. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And nothing is ever learn by taking shortcuts.
Yeah. And guys, again, we're not preaching at nobody. We're preaching ourselves. Like, this is a season we're all going to take something from and work on, from our kids to our wife, ultimately our relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
It's just, we all go through these seasons. And for me, I'm just, it seems like over the past, year and a half, like, and Rob can speak for it, I'm sure Bobby can, like, we just, as a man, we just go through these seasons, man. And I think it's rooted in, all of these options that the Lord has blessed us with.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
It's crazy. And we turn them into bad things.
Yeah. Yeah.
We turn them into bad things.
Yeah. Being ungrateful for
Being ungrateful or
or on our own time.
Yeah, on our own time, So I think the lesson to be learned is, like, give it all to Christ, man. Like, start pursuing Christ. And
yeah, I remember
be
whenever
proactive about it.
We was early on, and I was like, Drew, what does that mean? And you told me, like, man, you're just gonna have to go through it. Like, it's not a magic formula that I can tell you from step A to Z what to do to give your life to Christ, and He's gonna make it all right. And for me, it's like, I need those steps. I need for you to tell me exactly what I need to do to be able to fix this.
Yeah.
And
but it's not one of those things that, like, you can just fix. It has to happen on
you
God's
can't
time.
fix it
You
at
can't
all.
fix
Yeah.
it. Look, our best thinking got us what? In jail, rehab, prison.
Because your blueprint for life is different than your blueprint.
100%.
For life, you know what I'm saying? So we're all gonna, like, take different steps because God, He puts different paths in our way that we got to go through to get to where He wants us to be at.
Oh yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like,
But I remember that in that season, and Drew telling me that, and I just didn't want to accept it because I need like steps. I need tangible things.
You need somebody to tell you, like, affirmation and tell you it's gonna be okay and all this stuff. But like, at the end of the day, I can't tell you it's okay when I don't know if it's gonna be okay. Like,
he said he needs Google Maps.
Yeah, he needs Google.
Yeah.
He needs Google.
Yeah.
But again, like, that's what's so great about it is we all have our own. We all took our own paths that led to meaning paths as in our daily lives, not paths like always lead to heaven or lead to Christ. No, it doesn't work like that. But we're saying, like, as far as salvation and learning Christ and loving Christ and Christ changing our hearts and our lives, it just looks different because we all have different lives we live. But the thing that stays consistent is Jesus Himself. Like, He never changes.
Yeah.
So there's like a couple. I was praying. I was in tears about a month ago. Like, I'm just looking at my life and thinking, like, why am I not happy? Like, I don't know where I was at, and I'm just. I think I was in my office, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, I got tears going down my face, and I'm just like, and it's not about being happy. I just didn't have peace. Like, I've gotten so far away from the gospel and my relationship with Christ. Like, even so, just because I read my Bible doesn't mean that I was working on my relationship with Christ. I read the Bible just to mark it off my checklist.
Yeah.
So again, that if anybody ever asked me where was I reading, or if conversation popped up, I could be like, oh yeah, I'm reading such and such, and it's going over XYZ. It wasn't like, how am I gonna, chew on this and apply this to my day-to-day life? Does that make sense?
Take
Like,
knowledge from it.
Yeah, man. Like, actually eat on it, and it just hit me. I'm like, God, like, why are you so far away from me?
Yeah.
Like, how did we get? And He's like, I've never left.
That's it.
Like, I've been here. You got away from me.
You took all the gifts I've given you,
Everything,
and you put them between us.
And you've done whatever you wanted to do, like, on your terms. And I'm seeing it. But even in that month, like, what did I do to change it? Nothing.
Yeah.
I wasn't proactive. Like, and it doesn't do anything but get worse, and everything around you gets worse. Like, so therefore, like, man, just like I told Rob, like, you just got to let the process happen. And in that process is you pursuing Christ and surrounding yourself with godly men who's going to speak life to you.
That's it. Hey, I do want to encourage men and remind you of the importance of the role that God has given you, because there is an attack on men unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because very rarely is it about you. There's a whole family that the enemy is wanting to devour, but he's going to do it through you, right?
Mhm.
So Matthew 12:29 says, how can someone enter a strong man's house and steal his possessions unless he first ties up the strong man?
Mm.
So the attack is going to be on
Oh,
you,
man,
but
yeah.
it's not just for you, right? There's other souls at stake that if you lay down and you are not proactive, man, those souls are on the line.
Yeah.
That's how important it is. That's how big it is.
Like we were saying earlier, you know what I'm saying? Like I was telling him earlier, you got to lead by example. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I got 6 kids. I got 5 boys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to make sure they don't live like I did at all. They don't have the hardships that I had. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I get mad because I don't let them go hang out.
Right.
They're not going to English Park and they're not hanging out. They're not going downtown. They're not going to the Crim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not doing that stuff
Yeah.
because it's always breaking loose here.
That's it.
I got them in the country. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're riding dirt bikes and 4-wheelers. I'm taking them to church. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and sometimes I get upset because I don't allow them to go hang out with people because I don't know who they're going to hang out with.
Oh yeah, my Nick made a post a week or so ago talking about how thankful that he is for the things that our stepdad taught us and how he was firm in his beliefs. Like he taught us, look, it's either going to be my way or you can go and figure it out on your own.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Like he had rules. He taught us the importance of like taking care of your stuff. And we was like, man, why do we got to make up a bed for? You know what I'm saying?
There's the comments. There's all kind of people. I mean, there's people on her comments.
He was teaching us something in that moment that would carry on throughout life. It's just in the moment, we don't like him lessons. Look, we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear, man, you got to get up and make up your bed. No kid wants to do that. But it ain't just about that. That's what I've realized as I've gotten older is it's not just about making up your bed, because if you can't take care of this, you'll never take care of anything that you're given. You know, and those are the same things, principles that I try to instill in my kids today, you know, because of what he taught us. And he was unwavering in what he taught us. He was unwavering in what he meant, what he said he meant.
Facts.
1,000%.
Oh man, look, Lewis was something different. He was a different breed.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had his ways, but I'm telling you,
they don't make them no more.
Man, I'm telling you, the things, like I thought that he was nuts the way that he went overboard with what his lessons and stuff. Man, but looking back on him now, man, he was teaching life lessons. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like it was always bigger than just in the moment. You know what I mean? And I'm thankful for that. You know what I'm saying? It made me the man I am today. And looking back on it now, everything that he said, man, came to pass.
I remember thinking about certain things, like this was after the fact, but like when he was coming down to Owensboro at Matthew's table, he was coming to the services, you know, while he was still alive.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I'm like, we've even had talks, like everything he talked about, everything he said, goes to show you like what we were talking about in Proverbs this morning. But everything that he told us and he was trying to, you know, relate to us is things that were vital pieces of information, but we were fools.
Yeah.
Like we wasn't willing to take heed to that advice. And it you know, we learned it in the long run. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we hated truth.
Yeah.
Despised it.
It says the fear in Proverbs 1:7 says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. And even still till today, like sometimes I despise wisdom and instruction.
Yeah.
Like it's just a part of our sinful nature, but I identify it and got to do something about it. I think that's the biggest problem right now in our generation is we don't do nothing about it. We just sit back and I mean, not general, but I'm saying us in our group is we sit back and let stuff thinking that it's just going to disappear. It's going to fade away.
Yeah. That we don't have to face it.
That we don't have to face it. That it'll just automatically just disappear somehow.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
Like it'll resurface at some point, you know, if you don't address it, then and there. And that puts a strain on our relationship with Christ and our family.
Yeah. And that's you look at any root issue of anything, it's because you have strayed away from your first love.
Yeah.
That's the root issue of anything that's going on in your life.
Absolutely.
It's because your priorities are not in line. You know, your God is not in his rightful place, you know, and these other things have now became the fix of your issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are you doing on there?
Answering back to some of the. Why are you asking me like you're my dad?
I'm just saying. You was,
Answering back some of these comments.
I can tell you just wasn't in it.
Oh, I'm in it, but all
What are they
these
talking
people,
about?
I mean, just people are just commenting, like Brian Basham said.
Oh yeah. Big thank you to Brian Basham. He helped us to get set back up.
Man, he
he's
got this.
been a
Brian
huge help.
Basham came with no hesitation.
Yeah.
I was out of town. He came, met up with Rob, came to the office, set up the studio equipment, some new stuff that he had, some stuff that we didn't have.
Yeah.
Kind of upgraded our equipment, gave us some stuff. Like, we appreciate him, and we'll be having him on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's gonna be hanging out down here at the office. But we're just grateful, man. We're grateful to be back. And I know we're just a little bit all over the place today, but we're dysfunctional. That's who we are. If you're coming to a podcast with people who got it all together, listen, you might as well click on follow and go to somewhere else because we don't have it together. We're just men who love Jesus, love our families, love our community, and we want to be different.
Yeah.
And we're trying the best we can with what we know and what we have.
And the struggle is real.
The struggle,
the
struggle's real. But yeah, we're just grateful. Rob, you got anything?
Now, one thing that it did show me with him coming is the value of relationships. Think about that, man. Just I would probably spin my wheels for a year trying to figure this thing out. When I could have, when just like exactly what happened is we found somebody who had the information and the know-how to do it, man, and showed up that day and did it.
Yeah.
So I think that just speaks to the importance of, man, know what you are blessed to do and know what you're blessed not to do.
Well, my thing is what I'm grateful for is he said he was going to do it and he did it.
Oh, he did it. Yeah. I mean, and he was like, look, anything else you need, just let me know.
Yeah.
You know
we like to align with people like that. Bobby, you got anything you want to add?
Not at all.
Bobby's tapped out. He needs a cigarette,
Yeah.
but I need something to eat.
He's ready for marriage group.
Yeah, well,
that was a big thing, man.
But we need to get that happening because
Yeah.
that was a good thing for not only me but for my wife. You know what I'm saying? Just to get to talk to other wives about, you know what I'm saying, like just for her to be able to vent.
Oh yeah.
We vent to each other, so we talk about the gospel all the time. Sometimes our wives don't get to because they got the kids. Or
and think about that. That's our first ministry.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
You used to tell me this all the time. I didn't like it. So when Rob was going through this season, I used the same thing. But Rob always says your wife is a direct reflection of you. So if your wife is doing something like 9 out of 10 times, chances like that's because of you, what you created.
Yeah.
So us as leading our family, I didn't want to hear that. When he's like, well, your wife is a direct reflection of you. So you need to take a look at yourself because you're the leader. You're the head of the household. You're the spiritual leader of the household. So I didn't like hearing that. So I couldn't wait for the chance. Not meaning I wanted him to go through it or go through a season, but I wanted to say like, look, I'll keep the same energy. Your wife is a direct reflection of you. Love her no matter what. Love her thoughts. Love her faults, not thoughts. That's kind of poor grammar. Flaws are her faults.
Yeah.
Like fault.
Yeah.
FAULT.
I got you.
But like love them through it, man. Bobby, don't we keep the same? I'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
Like love her through it. Be like, look, man, I'm mad. Like, look,
that's hard to hear. I'm telling you
because I'll be mad at people.
Listen, watch yourself. He's probably watching.
It's okay.
Hey, look, here's
he's
lying.
Maybe he's lying.
Hey, the reason why is because, man, we don't want to take on that responsibility as like, man, how can I say how she's acting, how she ain't acting, right?
Yeah. How can I be
How can that fall on me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But as a leader, everything falls under you. You set the tone in everything that you do, and it's a constant reminder to myself of like, look, if you don't like how something is going, you change it.
Yeah. Well, the more I looked at it, the more I kept, even though I didn't like it, I started to see what I am allowing.
Man, I bet them words rung in your head real
Look,
silently.
what I'm allowing.
Direct reflection.
And I started to see the stuff that I was allowing, and I'm like, I'm the reason.
Yeah.
Wow. Look, no, she hit me with this.
Right.
She said, you created this. You gave me all this stuff. You introduced me to all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to give my wife a better life.
Yeah. And in doing that, sometimes it can go the other way.
I created a monster for a while.
Just like kids, right? We can want our kids to not have to ever feel anything, that we will spoil them to the max.
Yeah.
To where they don't ever feel anything.
Any consequence.
So they literally don't do anything.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. So it can go to the complete opposite, but that's why you always have to have an equal balance on everything in life. And that's a harsh reality of saying, like, You did create this.
Yeah.
You allowed this. It's either what you allowed or what you. It's all going to pass.
What I
through your
allowed,
hand.
what I didn't allow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, we're called to lead, and I wasn't leading
Say it. Rob
as
was
much
right.
Rob was right. But let me tell you what, Rob needed to live up to his same advice
That's
whenever
it.
he was going through a season.
That's
So,
it.
but that's the importance of being around men
That's
that are
it.
going to call you out on it.
Yeah.
Like they can't wait to call you out.
Yeah,
on it.
because your season's coming. You're gonna go through
Yeah,
it.
you're gonna
You
go
know
through
what
it.
I'm saying?
Look, Bobby used to tell me this all the time. I ain't calling you out, so don't take it like I'm. He'd be like, "Man, I love me and my wife. We never argue.
Oh yeah, no, we're
It's the
best
honeymoon
friends.
stage, right?
Yeah.
Like we all go through that where we don't battle. And one time, like they were going through it a long time ago, and like I'm like, Bobby, but that's your wife though. You gotta love her through it.
Yeah.
You got like you told me, but because in that, with the way I've seen Bobby love his wife, it made me want to love my wife even more.
Man.
Right? How he catered to his wife, how everything was about his wife, right? So whenever they went through a rough spell, I'm like, nah, bro, you got to keep the same energy,
Yeah.
bro. Like, didn't I? Tell me
Yeah,
true.
he said-
He looked at me
I
like
was like, you got
he
me
was ready to
great.
fight.
Like,
I'm like, no, but that's what brothers do. Like,
you supposed to
right?
be taking my side.
No, man, like you got to keep it. But that's what's important.
Yeah, we don't want to hear it when we're in it, man.
And that's what you're gonna get from this podcast. You're gonna
Yeah.
get real, raw, uncut, like guys that are just damaged. That like we're gonna probably chances when I leave here, I'm gonna mess up. I'm just being honest. Like I'm gonna do something that is not godly, but I know it and I want to fix it. Like I don't want to live like
That's
that.
the thing,
you know?
man. That's one thing that I am always remind myself of, man, is you ain't got it all figured out, man, but keep trying.
Yeah, keep
You know
that
what I'm
same
saying?
energy.
Yeah, keep wake up today, man, and put forth your best foot. Realize that you ain't got it all together. You know what I mean? You're broken, and you're supposed to be. You ain't supposed to walk around here like you got it all figured out.
Well, I think again it goes back to us being spoiled as Christians.
Yeah,
So
your Father is glorified in your weakness.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And that's what the Bible says. Like, he is found. What does it say? It says something
we're
like
strong
that.
in
in the
His.
Bible.
I mean, we're. Yeah, don't even try that. We're gonna.
It's something like that.
I'll make some stuff up.
He's
He
glorified.
said, make some stuff
I'll
up.
make some stuff.
He got-
It'll sound good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
he got the Bobby version.
All right, guys,
Yeah.
we love you. We appreciate you, Rob.
Yeah.
What's the times, days,
Fridays.
and what?
So this Friday,
Yeah, Friday.
today's Tuesday.
Friday at 10:30,
Friday at 10:30 or
Or
10
10.
o'clock. 10
10.
o'clock.
10 o'clock
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Friday.
Hey, I am proud. Taking Lucas College tomorrow. He's going to
That's
Campbellsville
awesome,
University. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
he
man.
something that I could have. I mean, I didn't ever get the chance to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
that's dope.
It's exciting.
That is dope. Aubrey's starting her freshman year of high school,
Ooh, where at?
Davis County. I know, right? Like I told her, I said, listen, I'm at Dad. I said, look, if there's any faults, if you do anything dumb, just know that like you're one bad decision away from being homeschooled. Like I bet that.
You go homeschooler?
I will protect my kids at all costs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so if you think you're gonna get tied up into all this extra stuff, like, just know
Ain't you expecting that though?
a little bit. But I want her to know in her mind.
Don't take away the lesson from her.
I'm not gonna take away the lesson, but I want her to know, like, hey, look, you do something crazy,
Like what's crazy?
like having a kid.
Oh yeah, that's pretty extreme,
Yeah, that's
dude.
pretty-
I know,
Dang.
but listen,
You went straight to the
we
middle.
live in that though, bro. Like, look at the culture of these kids these days.
Yeah, but you went straight to like. I thought you meant like maybe skipping, like going to get some breakfast or something. You
No,
know what
I'm
I'm saying?
talking about
Dairy
like
Queen.
if you're in high school. What happens when you're Rob freshman year?
I mean, I feel that. but
Freshman
man,
year?
Yeah,
Matter of fact, what'd you do?
yeah, I feel you.
What'd you do?
It's a different time.
Nah, what'd you do?
It's a different time.
See what I'm saying? I'm holding him accountable. He don't want to keep that same
Yeah.
energy.
It's a different time.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's still like we've worked too hard,
Yeah.
like to put our kids in a better position for them to go away from everything that we've taught them. Right. So
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you think I'm really gonna put her in homeschool? I just want her to know that there's a possibility. I'm not lying either.
Yeah.
There's a possibility. Like if you don't get your stuff lined out, like, and of course there's things that led up to this point.
Right.
This ain't just me saying, oh, you like being a mean dad, like, oh,
Yeah.
out of nowhere, you're going. Well, I'm gonna homeschool you.
Yeah.
There's some things that led up to this point to where I had to make that statement, right? So,
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we love you. We'll see you Friday. at
This
10 o'clock.
Friday.
This Friday.
All right.
10
This
o'clock.
Friday.
Trust the process.
Bobby gonna be back.
Yeah, I'll come back.
Trust the process. Don't rush the process.